I tracked down every single one of Lauri Markkanen's first 20 made shots in the NBA, and trust me, these weren't just random buckets. These were the first signs of one of the most unique players the league's ever seen. For over 7 years, this has been sitting in plain sight, and nobody's really put it together until now. So let's rewind and tell the story the right way. To understand why those first 20 makes were so significant, we need to go back to the beginning. Lauri Markkanen's journey started in Jyväskylä, Finland, where his father, Pekka, played professionally. But this wasn't the typical story of a basketball prodigy. His path to the NBA looked very different. Markkanen's path to the NBA ran through the University of Arizona. In just one season, he completely changed what scouts thought a 7-footer could be. He averaged 15.6 points and 7.2 rebounds, while shooting nearly 50% from the field and an incredible 42% from three. At the time, you could argue he was the best shooting big man college basketball had ever seen. But what really made scouts take notice wasn't just the numbers. One NBA executive told Bleacher Report, "This kid is a stud. I've watched him more than 7 times. His skill level and soft touch from outside are exceptional." And they weren't exaggerating. Here was a 7-footer who moved like a guard, shot like a wing, and carried the basketball IQ that comes from growing up in a basketball family. By 2017, international scouting had changed. Teams weren't just chasing long-term projects anymore. They wanted players who could make an impact right away. And Markkanen checked every box: size, skill, basketball IQ. He was exactly the kind of modern big man NBA offenses were built around. June 22, 2017, draft night at the Barclays Center.
With the 7th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen was selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves with the 7th overall pick, but his night was only just beginning. On draft night, Markkanen was traded to the Chicago Bulls, packaged with Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn, in exchange for All-Star Jimmy Butler and Justin Patton. It was a bold move. The Bulls were betting their future on young talent, and suddenly, a big piece of their offense rested on the shoulders of a 20-year-old from Finland. The reaction was mixed. Some analysts praised the Bulls for landing a modern stretch four. Others questioned whether Markkanen could handle the physicality of the NBA, but one thing was certain: Chicago had just added one of the purest shooters in the entire draft. When you watch Markkanen's tape, you see something different. 7-footers aren't supposed to shoot like this. The release is quick, the form is textbook, the range feels unlimited. And if he could bring that same skill to the NBA, Chicago might have found something extraordinary. October 19, 2017. In Lauri Markkanen's first NBA game, he faced the Toronto Raptors. But what made this debut so special wasn't that he was just playing, he was starting. Not many rookies get that honor, especially in their very first NBA game. The Bulls were sending a message. This kid was ready. And then it happened. His first NBA bucket.
It's 2 when he goes up. Good fundamentals. And a wide open jumper for Markkanen.
A mid-range jumper, a 7-footer stepping onto basketball's biggest stage, immediately showing everyone the kind of player he was going to be. The shot was pure, the confidence unmistakable. This was a player who belonged. The three-pointers showed his range. The mid-range jumpers displayed his versatility. A crafty finish in the paint revealed his basketball intelligence. By the end of that debut, Bulls fans knew they had something special. Game 2 was against the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, known for their disciplined defense, presented a different challenge. When the Spurs tried to take away his three-point looks, he found other ways to score: pick-and-pop jumpers, backdoor cuts, even post moves that caught everyone by surprise. You could see it in the body language of the veteran players. This rookie wasn't just hitting lucky shots. He was making reads, finding open spaces, and shooting with a confidence that usually takes years to develop. Then came Game 3 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs had LeBron James, Kevin Love, a team built to win a championship. But Markkanen didn't flinch. His shooting in this game was masterful. Corner threes, transition bombs, clutch makes that had the Cleveland crowd stunned. That night, he went 5 for 8 from 3 and 7 for 12 from the field against a team that won the championship just a year ago. The Atlanta Hawks visited Chicago 2 nights later. Markkanen continued where he stopped and kept making shot after shot. When that 20th shot swished through the net, something had been established. This wasn't just a promising rookie having a good start. This was a player who had instantly translated his college success to the NBA, maintaining the same shooting efficiency and basketball IQ that made him special at Arizona. Watching all 20 shots in sequence, you see the complete package. The range, the quick release, the movement without the ball, the ability to score in different ways, but most importantly, you see a player who never seemed overwhelmed by the moment, a player who played with the composure of someone who had been preparing for this stage his entire life. Those first 20 shots were just the appetizer. In his rookie season, Markkanen averaged 15.2 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 1.2 assists over 68 games. But the numbers, they only tell part of the story. Among rookies that season, Markkanen ranked second in three-pointers made. He led all big men in three-point percentage, and he was the only 7-footer attempting more than 4 threes per game, while shooting over 36% from deep. Advanced metrics loved what they saw. His true shooting percentage of 59.5% ranked among the top rookies. His floor spacing ability added 1.2 points per possession for the Bulls when he was on the court. Teams were already adjusting their defensive schemes just to account for his shooting range. By season's end, opposing coaches treated Markkanen like a veteran sharpshooter, hard closeouts, switching schemes, constant attention beyond the three-point line. The respect he earned in just one season was remarkable. Those first 20 makes were more than just individual success. They were proof that international basketball development could produce NBA stars. Finland, a country of 5.5 million people, had created a player who was changing how teams thought about building their rosters. In the drafts that followed, teams began prioritizing shooting big men more than ever. The Markkanen template, a 7-footer who could shoot, handle, and read the game, became the blueprint franchises sought after. Back in Finland, youth basketball participation spiked 400% in the 2 years after his rookie season. Those 20 shots had ripple effects far beyond the United Center. Looking back, those first 20 made shots told us everything we needed to know about Lauri Markkanen's NBA future. They revealed a player who was ready for the moment, who understood his role, and who had the rare combination of size and skill modern basketball demands. The NBA had seen talented international big men before, but few arrived with Markkanen's immediate impact. Those 20 shots were a preview of a career that would include all-star selections, record-breaking performances, and a fundamental shift in how teams viewed European talent. In an era where basketball is increasingly global, where analytics drive decisions and versatility is valued above all else, Lauri Markkanen's first 20 NBA makes serve as a perfect time capsule. They capture the moment a young man from Finland stepped onto basketball's biggest stage and immediately proved he belonged. 20 shots, 20 makes. The beginning of a story that would inspire a generation of international players and change how the NBA thought about what a 7-footer could accomplish.